Morning, Luke. Morning, Joan. It's a bit chilly this morning. Morning, morning. Who else have we got? Gary. Morning, Gary. I assume that's Donna, not Gary. But anyway. Morning, morning. It's not very nice morning here in Bucks in Aylesbury. It's pretty miserable. I think it's miserable all day. Rain, 50% rain all day long. So not much of a nice gardening day today. I was hoping to get a bit of gardening done today. As you know, I'm growing lots more seeds this year, and I'm going to be growing a lot more of my own flowers this year. So I'll be able to make more. Morning, Jennifer. More English grown flowers. So that's my idea this year, to grow more English flowers. And put them into my designs and share them with you all on here. So, morning, Alison. Morning, Jennifer. Morning. So yes, so today we're going to do a hand tied, which I know lots of you always asking me about. Hand ties, they're not difficult, they just need a bit of practice. So you just need to practice and practice to get the morning, Maz. Morning. So you just need lots of practice, really. That's all I can say to you. Rain in Northern Ireland, yeah, I'm sure it seems to be miserable everywhere this morning. But anyway, hello. So we'll wait for a few more to come on, and then we'll get started. Lorna, morning. Chris, morning. Linda, morning. A few more coming on now. Michelle, morning. We had quite a few people join the last couple of days. Morning, Eileen. So we should have a few newbies on here today, so that'll be nice. So if you get the option to share, it comes up in the feed, I think. It says, do you want to share this? So if you see it, you can share it in any of your groups. If you've got any groups that you belong to, any other flowering groups, I don't know, any other groups that you belong to, basically. So, Sally and Castlevine, hooray! I think you're the only one that's got a bit of sun, Maz, but you have enough rain to make up for it, so that's nice. You've got a good day. And it's your birthday this weekend, so yeah, hopefully you'll have a nice sunny weekend. You can go and take Dusty for a walk down on the beach. That'd be lovely, yeah. So hopefully you'll have good weather this weekend. Right, any more coming on? We'll get started. Yeah, so as I say, it's miserable here in Bucks, in Aylesbury, but hopefully it'll get a bit better. So I think we'll get started then. Otherwise, I don't like to keep you waiting if you're here on time. So again, as I say, if you see a share in there at all, it goes up in the news feed. So when you see your names and the messages, you'll see it there. It comes up share. So if any of you can share that, that'll be great. That'll be lovely. And as I say, we've got quite a few new people join this week, so hopefully they'll be looking in as well. So we'll get cracking. Okay, so for hand tied, the flowers I've got today are, I'll put them up here. I've got some broom from my garden, which is what I used last week. Still absolutely beautiful. Smells divine. So I'm going to carry on I'm going to use some more of that today. So we've got broom. I've got white avalanche roses. These are imported Dutch. I don't grow these, not yet anyway. I've got white green eustoma or lisianthus. And I've just got 2 stems here, but you can see how many flower heads there are on it. So you only need 2 stems because I'm going to split them and make them into almost like a 3rd stem. I've got some lovely geminis. Morning, Colette. I've got some lovely geminis. I'm going to put those in. I've got a few of my all-time favourites at the moment. The Baltazia chrysanth blooms. These are absolutely beautiful. So I'm continuing to use those. They last for weeks and weeks and weeks. All the chrysanthemums are really good. So if you can grow these in your garden, I don't know if I'm going to have any room to grow any of these in my garden, but I might try. And we've got Achillea. This is a lovely country flower which grows really easily as well. I'm going to be growing some of this year. What is the name? What is the name of the type of room? I don't know. I'd have to look it up, Jennifer. I don't know. I put it in my garden when I first moved here 4 years ago, and it's absolutely huge now. 7 years ago, I've been here now 7 years. I put it in the garden then, and it's absolutely huge. I don't know what type it is. I'll try and find out. It comes out, when it first comes out, it comes out red, and then it goes this sort of lovely, I suppose, sort of apricot pinky colour. It's really divine, but I'll try and find it out. I'm not quite sure. Not sure. And so we've got the Achillea, and this is grown in all lovely colours, but it's quite nice in the white. It looks nice and fresh. It looks a bit like the cow parsley that you see in the country. Morning, Jacqueline. So that's quite nice, but also it's a lot stronger than cow parsley. I've got aconitum, not aconitum, I'm terrible with my names, antirrhinums, sorry. Antirrhinums, or bunny, you know, the bunny plant, the ones that you used to do as a kid, little bunny plants. Or they're called snapdragons as well. What people call them, snapdragons. And so that's the flowers. I've also got, which I picked, there's a tree up my lane, which is just a wild tree. And I picked some of this. Look at this. Beautiful. White lilac. Now this is quite, it goes quite soft if you're not careful. It's on woody stems. But what I've done is I've cut them yesterday and I put them into deep water. And I wrapped the tops so that they couldn't droop. So just wrap the tops like this. Give them a good drink overnight in cold water. You can do this with paper, or I just had a bit of foam hanging around. And in a big jug of water, so right up to the tops of the stems. So that was drinking last night. So I'm going to put some of that in as well. So that was a little freebie. Don't get many things free these days, do you? So that was quite nice. And again, that smells absolutely beautiful. Morning, Linda. So we're going to put some of that in as well. So it's going to be a nice sort of country type hand tied. The greenery I'm using is my normal pistache, which I use all the time, which you know I love. It's great for hand ties. From my garden, I've got pittosporum. So we're going to use a bit of pit just for different texture, and it's nice and fluffy and looks lovely in sort of country style. Hand ties. And this week I've got some soft ruscus. This is soft ruscus, and it's lovely. It's got lovely pointy tips. Now because this is so long, what we do is we chop this in half. So I'll show you that as I do it in a minute. You don't need to just use one whole stem, otherwise that would be very wasteful. So we use two bits. We use the bottom bit in the construction of the hand tied, and then we'll use the tip just to go around the edge, just to frame it. Okay, so you can see there I've got one where I've cut the tip off this one. So this is just the bottom piece, which we'll use in the construction of the hand tied, and the other one as well. So, and obviously all else you need, what else you need, obviously, for hand tied is something to tie it with. So some type of tying material. I tend to use strips of, morning Jane, I tend to use strips of just florist tape because I find it easier. But you can use twine, cotton tape. There's lots of different tying things. When you first start, sometimes it's easier just to use the twine. I haven't got any here to show you. Sometimes that's easier. But I find I'll show you how I use this, and it's in a way where it actually holds the hand tied easier. I think I've shown you before, but anyway, I'll do that again. And obviously you need your cellophane. So I've already cut that. So you need 1 metre square of cellophane, and to go around the tops, these are about a foot, about 12 centimetres, 12 inches wide. I use 3 of those, and because you've got good quality flowers, just use clear cellophane. Don't use anything patterned. If you want to see your lovely country flowers, just use clear cellophane. It looks 10 times better. So I'm just going to put that to one side for a minute so it doesn't get messy. I've also got some twigs. This is still from my tree that I cut down. I told you a while back I cut a tree down, which was a silver weeping silver birch, and these are all the what do you call them, like little stems, little branches of stems that come off the end of it. So I've got lots of these, and I'm going to put some of these in. Morning, Hayley. So I'm going to put some of these in as well, so it'll give it another nice texture and make it look really countrified. All right. So, and obviously you'll need some type of ribbon. I'm going to use Hessian ribbon, but you could use organza ribbon as well. Okay, so let's get started. So the best thing to do is to have all your flowers and make sure they're all stripped of all foliage all the way down the stems. So all of these have all been done, so they're all ready to go. You want no foliage. You can leave a little bit on the top of the snapdragons if you like, but not much, because as long as it's where the tying point is, it needs to be clear. Okay, so I've got all of those. I'll just wire the gerbras as well. I know you've seen me do wiring gerbras, but I will do those just to show you again. So we've got 3 wires. So just put it into the bottom of the head, just put it in slightly, hold it with one hand, put the wire in the other hand, and just twist. So twist at the top and bring the wire down as you do it. So just keep twisting all the way down the stem. That's one. Next one, just in under the head, hold it with one hand and twist down the stem with the other. Just keep moving both hands all the way down. Third one. There we go. Okay, so you've got 3 wired gerbras. They didn't really need wiring those, I've just shown you how to do it really. You know, I put a tiny little bit of bleach in my bucket, just with the gerbras, nothing else, and that acts as like a Viagra for your gerbras. So that really does them world good. They enjoy that. Right, so you've got all your flowers ready. And we're just going to get the greenery ready as well. So with your greenery, again, you want all the bottoms stripped. That's okay. If you've got any bits sort of at the bottom, take them off. You can use all of these for, morning Karen, you can use all of these in other arrangements. So you can just put them in a little vase. You can use those in a basket arrangement, posies, whatever else you're doing. Okay, so with the pistas, that's already fairly stripped. It comes, there's not really much you have to take off those, but any little loose leaves, you don't want any leaves below the tying point. So again, that one can maybe come off. So all of these little bits off the bottom. Now with the soft ruskers, as I said to you, we're going to use the tip because it's too long to put in your hand tied. It'd be a really big hand tied. So halfway down, just cut it, remove 3 or 4 bits. You can keep all of these bits, as I say, for your anything else that you're making, and then you want just your single stem to go, and these are we're going to frame the outside of these, so these will go as a frame around the edge. So you've got your half, the one that you've used, the bottom part of it, you're going to use actually for your structure. So just again take the bottoms off, so you've got a nice clean stem. All you want is the clean stems at the moment. And I've got another one here. This one already had the top taken off, so I'm just removing all the bottom bits, so you've got a nice clean stem. So we've got 2 of those. I'm just going to get another piece because that's 2 bits. And I want 3 bits. Okay, so again, just cut halfway down. Removing all the small bits. You don't want anything below your tying point. It needs to be stripped totally of leaves. Any leaves that are in the water bubble at the bottom will obviously turn the water rancid, and we don't want that. Okay. So again, I don't often buy soft rusk because it's quite pricey, but it's a lovely greenery. And like hard ruskers, which is just a single stem of this, a single version of this with just single leaves off it, not sort of stemmed. The greenery lasts for weeks and weeks, so it's an investment, but it's worth buying. But you can see even just 3 pieces of that makes a nice basis for a hand tied anyway. So we might not need all of this greenery, but we'll We'll see how we get on. So we'll put the soft bits to one side. We can use those at the end. So we're going to start making the structure. So we've got our 3 pieces of pistache, and we're just literally putting them over each other just to get a little frame. So you're just getting a little frame, just nice and loose, your hand nice and loose. Okay, and then I'm going to use the soft ruscus as well. So just put them round, and what you're doing is you're putting them on and turning it round. So we're just going to put these 3. So you're just making like a spiral effect in your hand. So you can see there. So it doesn't have to be too, you don't have to worry too much at this stage. If you've got any odd sort of funny end bits, so just get rid of those, because you don't, this is what you're going to see at the top. So you want to make sure it's nice and lush on the top. Okay, so you've got them nicely spaced out. So you've got your pistache in the middle and your soft ruscus, the bottom pieces at the bottom. And I'm going to put my my silver birch twigs in now as well. So we're going to bring them round. So, because these are quite difficult to get in afterwards, but just put lots of them all the way around. Don't have to worry too much. And just twist as you put them in. Just turn the bunch around. So we're just putting them in. You can put a few through the middle as well. So just feed them down. As long as you keep your hands soft, they'll go down through the middle. So that one's gone down. So a few more twigs. Morning, Bernadette. So we'll put a few more down the middle. So you're getting a nice structure, and this is without any flowers in it yet. So you can see, you've almost got a hand tied of greenery, and this is the way I like to work. And then I feed the flowers through. So we haven't actually used the pittosporum yet, so we'll use that as if we need a bit more greenery as we go round. Okay, I'm just going to put a few more twigs, because I love these twigs. It makes it look very countrified. So just make sure you've got an even amount all the way around. You can't see them very well on here, but they're there. And they just give it a nice country look. Nice, free, easy flowing. That's what you want. There we go. Okay. Right, so now we're going to add some flowers. Now I tend to use my biggest flowers first. So if you were using chrysanthemums, when you first learn, you quite often use spray chrysanthemums. I don't like spray chrysanthemums. So I'm going to use my large chrysanthemum. So I'm literally just going to place, so you've got your hand tied in your hand, just nice and soft, and just lay your flower on the top and hold it in the middle. And then you want, with this hand, just hold it and turn it. Then place the next one into the middle, hold with your other hand, and then turn. And then put the last one in. So all of a sudden you can see you've got 1, 2, 3, and already it's nice and spaced out. You've got lots of spacing there. Now it needs something in the middle, so I'm going to put one of my roses down the middle. So because you've got it nice and soft in your hand, don't hold it tight, you can feed the rose down the middle. Alright, so you just put it into the middle and just feed it down gently. Just find a hole, find a space where it's going to go in, and just gently, gently, gently holding the flower all the way down until you can see the stem. And you can see the stem at the end. Just make sure, you can twist it then and make sure it's where you want it to be. Okay, it doesn't have to be too even. If it's too even, it looks too false. So I like it just to sit in the middle. Just twist it around till it's where you want it to be. So you've got your 3 chrysanthemums and your white avalanche in the middle. Okay. Then I'm going to put in my antirrhinums, snapdragons, and with these again I'm holding it this way. I mean, normally I would work like this, so I would work like this, so it's probably easier to sit like this. So hold it with this hand and place where you want it to be, your next flower, on top, and hold it by the hand tied, by the middle. So you place that one in, it's almost straight, so I'm showing it almost straight. So in there, then with this hand, hold it tight and turn it. Then your next one, and you're going kind of in between your two last big flowers. Those are your focal flowers. So again, hold the flower, place it where you want it to be. You have to sometimes feed it through any of the twigs or any other bits and pieces you've got there, but just feed it through so it's on your hand, where your hand is. So hold it with that hand and just have a look, see that it's in the right place, and just move it down if you need to. And again, then with your other hand, hold it, twist, and then we're going to go in with the third one. Sorry, getting attacked by flowers. And then again, your third one here, you're going again in between your two blooms, and just when you're putting them in, just make sure they're in the direction you want them. So you want them to flow outwards. You want them all to flow outwards. So there you've got, morning Lorraine, you've got your 3 antirrhinums just coming out. These are lovely spring, summer flowers, and they just look great. So it gives you a nice different alternative shape, and that's what you want. You want lots of flowing flowers. Okay. Now with the we'll put a bit of Achillea in now as well. So again, hold it, get your flower, look at where you're placing it at the top, and you're putting it on top. Hold it with that hand, see that it's where you want it to be, and then turn. Morning Sharon. So again, on the top, grab it with your hand that you've got your hand tied in, hold it, and then turn. No, actually I've turned too much because I've gone too far around. Because I'm exaggerating it for you to show you. So, okay, so then that one goes in there. Now that's gone in front of the bloom, but that doesn't matter because there was a hole there, so it's gone in there. So again, you can see you're getting a nice loose hand tied. It's looking great. I mean, and that's probably enough. If you're doing a small hand tied, that would be enough flowers. I'm putting a lot extra in to show you, and this is for a customer of mine, so they spent quite a bit of money, so I'm going to put extra in just because they're a good customer. Okay. And with the so I'm going to put a couple of pieces of lilac in as well. That was the lilac. Remember the lilac? So those will go a little bit lower because the stems are a little bit shorter. But you want to put them so that the tops can be seen. So you would put it sort of there. And there's enough stem. When you put the water in, you have to make sure that you've got the water goes right up to the hand tied bunch, to the where your hand tied is, to where you're tying it, because some of these stems are shorter. All right. So that's one. This is the next one. Put that one there. Just hold it. Twist. And one more. There we go. So these are a bit wobbly, the lilac, but that's fine, they will be fine. Now with the Lizzie, because they've got so many heads on the top, see how many flower heads we've got on the top, what I'm going to do, it's a bit difficult because I've got my hand holding this one, but basically I'm just going to pull off this bottom one and this one and just use the rest of it. So that's one bit, and what you want with this one is to try and go in between your other two tall ones. So that's going to go here. So you don't want it right behind another tall flower. So you've then got this one in between your two aconitum, your two antirrhinums. And with these bits I've pulled off, I'm going to use those at the end if I've got any holes. So these are great. So just keep those. And again with this one, I'm pulling these off again, because it's quite a large head of flowers. Sometimes you get them really full, and you can almost make, see, they're the bits I've pulled off. I can make another stem with those, see? So even another one can come off there. And again, just make sure you haven't got any greenery below where you're tying. So this one again now is going in between So again, you're holding it here in between your two anti-rhinums. So I'm going to do one more in between this one. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to use all of these odd bits as my third stem. So that has saved me the cost of one stem of Lizzie. Okay, so just put all the heads together. You're going to have slightly different uneven ends, but that doesn't matter. And then that one's going in between. Well, we didn't turn it there, did we? Yes, I did. There it is. So I'm going to put that one here, and that will secure the lilac in a little bit as well. There we go. See, so that is framing the lilac. You can jiggle them about a bit because you're holding it tightly, but you still keep it smooth. Bonjour, Elaine. Bonjour. Comment ça va? There we go. So we've got in a nice loose. Now, do you know what? I'm not even going to bother with the gerberas. I don't think it needs the gerberas because I want to keep it countrified. I'm not going to use the gerberas, so forget about the gerberas. We'll use them another day. I'm going to put a few more roses in, and then I'm going to finish it off with the broom. All right. So one more flower. Francis, morning, ma'am. So this one, next one in. So one. Turn it. Put the flower on the top. Hold it with your hand that you're holding it, just secure it nicely, and then with your other hand turn, and then the next rose in. So you've got your 3 beautiful avalanche roses around the edge. Okay, très bien, merci, très bien. Right, okay, right, so now we're going to use our broom, and we're just literally going to be putting this around the edge. So it's just going to give another texture, another dimension. Hold, turn. And because it's nice and spayed out, you can sort of cover quite a large area. So as you put it on, sort of spay it out. Okay, hold, twist. See how much it covers? So as you put it on, spray it out with your fingers, and that covers a lot more area. There we go. You can see I don't even need those pieces. Okay, so that's all the flowers. I'm just going to use those few bits of, we saved a few of the tips of the soft ruscas. I'm just going to put a few of those around the edge. I'll put a little bit, I'm going to put a little bit of the pistache, not pistache, the pittosporum around the edge as well, just to frame it. Just gives it a little bit of structure, a little bit more structure around the edge. If you, I mean, a lot of florists would use leather for this or something. I don't like leather because it dries out so quick. Yes, fragrant lilac. Yes, I pinched it from down the lane, Mum. Don't tell anyone. There we go. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So there we go. Look at that. It's a nice soft hand touch, and you can see my hand hasn't let go, so you don't want to let go. The last thing you want to do at this stage, otherwise it'll all fall to pieces. So I'm going to use my pieces of ribbon. Now this is just normal florist ribbon, which is what I say, which is what I use. And morning, Jane. Oh, Jane. I said morning to you, Jane. Right, so with your hand, you've got your hand here. With your ribbon, you hold it with one hand. I'm going to have to do it. I'm going to have to do it. So you just grab it with one finger, go all the way around. You're pulling nice and tight with this hand with the ribbon, and then go all the way around. And then as you go around, you're pulling it nice and tight. I go around a couple of times, each time pulling nice and tight, and come round to the front. And you've got your 2 pieces, and then you tie once, but don't tie it all the way down, and then go over again. If you go over twice, when you pull it, it will hold. So over once, over twice and then pull, but just pull gently because this can snap as well. And so that is totally holding the hand tied. I'm not holding anything now. And then just for security, I'll go around a couple more times because I'm a bit like that. Just go around again then and finish tying, and then you can cut it off. I hope you can see this all right. Here we go. And then get rid of your odd bits. So that is tied nice and secure. So now all you need to do now is to cut your stems. If you were putting them straight into a vase, you would cut them diagonally and put them into a vase. Because this is going into an aqua pack, I'm cutting them straight, but then I will just trim the few roses inside and give them a diagonal cut just to make them last a bit longer. But you're holding it nice and tight now, and you want it in proportion. You want 2/3 flower to about 1/3 stems. Okay, so you need nice sharp scissors, and you might need clippers as well. Some of the stems are a bit hard, so get those ready. So 1/3 to 1/3, just cut straight across. See, so you got 1/3 to 2/3 flower. Okay, just cut straight across. Some of the twig stems are very. Just cut all the way across. You need a good pair of clippers. So nice and flat. Got one that isn't flat. There we go. So nice and flat. See? You see how flat that is? Flat against my hand. Okay. So that will make it stand up. And then just hold it tight and it will just stand. I've got a cabinet in the way above it, so, but anyway, you can see that it's going to stand. Okay, so then clear all your deck. A nice clean, in a shop you'd have another place where you did your wrapping, but because I work in a small workshop garage, obviously I don't have that luxury anymore. When I had the shops, we had loads of space, and we just used to have one place where we did all the wrapping. So you want to make sure it's nice and clean and dry before you put your cellophane down, otherwise your cellophane will get messed up. So nice and dry. Okay, put your hand tied just to one side for a minute. And keep this nice and clean and dry. So then you want your pieces of cellophane. So we do around the flowers first. So keep your meter, and I've got a little bit there which I use as what I call a nappy, but I'll show you that in a minute. So you've got your 3 pieces of cellophane. These are about a foot wide, 12 inches wide. And what I do is I cut the bit off at the end because I find there's too much cellophane. So I cut a slither off the end. So cut about 6 inches off the end. All right, and the way I do this, I don't know if you can be able to see it there on this screen. Morning, Moira. Into half. So you've got 2 points. Put it on the desk, and then from the middle, just fold in again. So you're folding this point, this corner, into the 2 points in the middle, and then just. This is the way I've done it, and I've just done it this way I do it, and then just cellophane it down. So you've got, it just gives you a few more points. Okay, there you go. So your 3 pieces. So you've got your cellophane. So your bottom corner into the middle. So you've got two mountains. Put it on the desk, and then from the middle, just fold in again. So this corner again is going in between your 2 mountains. That's the best way I could describe it. And then a bit of tape just to secure it. So you want 3 of those. So diagonally across to form your 2 mountains, and then hold it in the middle, and then your far corner in between the 2 mountains again. Okay, just a little bit of tape just to secure it. So you've got your 3 pieces of cellophane, and as I say, if you use clear, you'll see the beauty of all the flowers. If you use the pattern stuff, I do use pattern stuff sometimes, but mainly Christmas and Valentine's when people want it, but most of the time I just use clear cellophane. So your next job, hold it where you've tied it, place on your cellophane and just hold it, and you've got a double side and a single side. So just hold that like that. So you've got your single side here, and then your next bit where you've doubled it over, put the double on top of the single. And then just a little bit of tape just to secure that, just to secure it. And then move around again. So then you've got your single side on this side and your double. So you're putting your double on your single. Just hold it. A little bit of tape. And then you come round. And then obviously you've got your two that you're going to join. So you've got your single on one side and your double on the other. So if you put it on the desk, and then you've got your single and your double. Just put your double slightly over your single. And just join the two up. If you were doing a much bigger hand tie, you'd need maybe 4 or 5 pieces of cellophane. So you just have to scale it up. Just got a bit of cellophane around the bottom just to secure it. So there we go. You've got a little bit of cellophane all the way around. You're just protecting the flowers. That's all you're doing. Morning to Mary Teresa. You're just protecting your flowers around, and that's really mainly just for delivery purposes. I mean, they're nice. You want to see the flowers, but this is the best way I find of just doing that. So just put a little bit more cellophane around the bottom, just to secure it. There we go. So you've got your beautiful hand tied with your tying point and your flat ends. So if you lay that, just look at it, just have a look at it and say to yourself, what's the nicest? So to me, that's the nicest front. I can see most of the flowers from there. So I can see all my points. See, what's happened is this Lizzie has moved over a little bit. So it's been a bit naughty, it's gone, that's it. I want it in between the other points. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It's, you know, it's a natural, so just pull some of your twigs through, so you've got a nice collection. You can see all the roses. So that's a nice hand tie, isn't it? So what you want to do now, you want to put that onto the bench and get your so you've got 1 metre square now of cellophane, and you would put the point on the desk. So put the point here on the desk, and look at where you're going to have your flowers. The nicest front. You're working from the front. So, and then just put that onto your triangle that's on the floor. This could be quite difficult to show you. I'm going to try and move it round. But basically what you're doing is you're pulling the cellophane up and over and around. Let me see if I can show you this. I'll do it from this side. So you've got your point here, you've got your front of your hand tied at the front, put it onto the cellophane, and what I sometimes do, if I've got a lot of woody stems or a lot of sharp stems, I get another little slither and just put it underneath, just to protect the water bubble cellophane. So this just protects, and I call it a nappy. Just put that on, and just put a little bit of cellophane there, or you could use the tape, just to keep it there. So what you're doing is you're just protecting your outside cellophane. Some people use two big, you don't need to use 2 whole meters of cellophane, just use a strip in the middle. Then you're bringing it over, at the front, and make sure you've got even amounts of cellophane on either side. If you haven't, you're not going to have enough cellophane to go up above your tying point. Okay, so just pinch a little bit together, hold the hand tied, hold the flowers and the most important thing is that you hold it where you've tied them. You don't want to be doing it further down, otherwise what will happen is when you put the water in, the whole thing will slide off. So the most important thing is to hold it where you've tied, and then with each piece you're just pinching and folding as you go in. So do that for one side, I'll hold it on this side, and you see this bit here needs to be long enough so it's not below the tying point, otherwise when you put your water in, the water's all going to come out. So with one hand you're holding And then from the back there, then you can just, so if you do it upside down, you want to pull all of this all the way around the back. Make sure you've got every single piece above where your hand is. Otherwise, so when you put the water in, it's just all going to come out. Alright, so look at the front again. Just keep holding it, pulling. Make sure you've just got enough. And you can see you want a nice flat bottom on there because that's where it's going to stand. Okay, so as you're holding that, I've got another piece of tie already done. And again, like before, hold it with one hand, pull it nice and tightly, weave it through your fingers, pull it all the way around, just keep pulling it nice and tight, and go around with the other side as well, just nice and tight, go around a few times, come back round the front, and you can see it's that this when you do it with this, it kind of keeps it tied, you don't lose grip of it. So again, I'll do that bow to show you, or that knot, just one over the other, go round, and then go over again. So you're going over twice, pull it down nice and slowly, and it will hold, and that will just hold it there as well. So you've got two, just do it again, go around just to secure it. I'll just do it long enough so I can go around twice. There we go. That's it. Get rid of the ends. And there's your hand tied. There we go. And that just stands lovely. Okay, so that's how I do a hand tie. Now, before you fill it with water, we're going to do the bow. And I like to do my bows so they sit above the frill. I don't like them underneath. I do them underneath sometimes, but I think they look nicer when they sit here. And then also when you put it in a bag or a box, you can see the bow and it becomes part of the arrangement. Alright, so just lay that down. And I'm going to get some, this is my raffia, and it comes in long strands. I just hang it up. Can you see that? So I'm just going to pull about 25 pieces. Just pull it. Should come out. Not going to want to come out, is it? No, it's all going to want to come down. Right, okay. That didn't work. Never mind. It usually works. Never mind. Right, so we need that amount coming down. It's messy stuff. A lot of people don't use it because it is messy. It's not going to go, so I'm just going to cut it off at the top. That's the amount I want. A nice big bow. That later. So you've got a nice amount of raffia. Raffia isn't cheap, but it does make a lovely. If you're doing a country, just get rid of all the odd bits, anything odd that's coming out. And then I literally just do a simple bow, a nice tie with one side. Make sure you're working from the middle. Can be a bit uneven sometimes. Just do a nice loop one side, another loop, and then you'll need another piece of raffia to go round the middle. We'll get another bit. It's all over the floor now. It's a messy job. Who said floristry was glamorous? It's not glamorous. It's a messy job, and that's why you have to charge what you're going to charge to do it, because it's right. So we've got about 3 or 4 pieces there, and just loop them over, and then put the loop behind your bow. So you've got your loop here. Just pull it over the front, and just pull the other half, and just pull it through. So it just, you've got a nice bow, and then that will give you a nice. And then the next thing, just crunch it all up. It gives you a nice country effect. A nice loose bow. There we go. So hold it from the bottom, and then just get rid of your dead ends. And nice and messy. Make sure you don't cut your tie in bits. How many times I've done that. There we go. So you've got your nice bow there. You can cut all the odd bits, any odd bits off at the end if there's any straggly bits. There's always some straggly bits. And then obviously just part that at the back, and tie. Now, as I said, I like to tie above, I like to put it above my frill. So if you move the frill down a little bit, a bit difficult to show you on here, but, and tie it above your frill. So just go all the way around. Can't see what I'm doing. I'm feeling my weight. I'm going above the frill and just tie at the back. There we go, tie at the back. Doing that all blind, I couldn't see what I was doing. So then hold it underneath, pull all your cellophane back up, get rid of any straggly bits of raffia. And then you've got a nice big bow. Ooh, somebody's put a nice big message on there. What's that, Diane? When I had a florist shop, we had a cupboard especially for the raffia monster, as it became known. It used to come at you as you opened the door. Yeah, I remember that, especially when you had about 5 different bunches in different colours and things. Yeah, different bunches, different colours. It comes in all lovely colours. They dye it in all lovely colours. You get nice reds at Valentine's and Christmas. But the natural stuff is the nicest, I think. Looks more countryside, and that's the effect we're going for today. But yeah, it can be a bit messy. Okay, so that's your hand tied. And then just hold it on the table, and then you're going to fill it with some water, which is over here. I've got my big watering can because I don't know where my little one is. I don't know, I lose things all the time, me. I've already put some flour food in here, so just put normal flour food in that you get, like little sachets. A couple of these. Just the little sachets, Kreisel or Fleur Vital or any of the flour foods that you can get from the wholesalers. Make sure you put a few of those into the water, and then you're going to pour down the middle. And the best way of doing this is to make sure that you put it in your arm and fold all the cellophane that's coming downwards. Hold it all upwards, because otherwise you'll get the water coming out and you'll get soaked. And then just pour down the middle. Try not to get the water into any of the flower heads. Just go down the middle where you've got a little hole. Just keep pouring, and then bang it onto the bottom. And you can see I'm half full here, so I want to take it right up to the tying point, because a lot of people, one, because I want to make sure that some of those shorter stems are drinking, like the lilac was only went down to about here, didn't it? So make sure that the lilac's drinking, and also because a lot of people just keep them in these. They don't even bother taking this off and putting them in a vase because they don't really know what to do with them when they get them. So I advise people just to top it up with flour. I give them another one of these, and some, and not just get them to put a bit more inside, you know, put it themselves, and just top it up. So just a bit more. Take it right up to the tying point. I like it right up to the tying point. A bit more. It takes about a litre of water at least. It depends how big your bubble is. Morning, Karen. So there we go. So that's, yeah. So you could cut these down a bit if you like. But it's quite nice when you put it into a bag or a box, if you're going to put it in a box. I'll put it into a bag just to show you. Have one out ready. So these are the bags that most florists use. They're just hand-tied bags. Ooh. And that sometimes happens where they haven't done a knot properly. So put it through, make sure you do another knot. Otherwise when you pick it up it'll all fall out. When you open these, just open them from the inside. You'd be happy to receive it? Yeah, so would I. And make sure that the flat side, not the bit where you bent it at the back, goes on the front. So then goes in the box, And then if you haven't tied your bow too tight, it should just sit on the back. It should just sit on the back. It's a bit different with raffia because it comes down a little bit. So I'm actually going to just trim them a little bit because they look like they're sticking out a bit. So we're just going to trim those just a little bit. So that is a nice fluffy raffia bow, which I think just finishes it off. So there we go. So that's your hand-tied, country hand-tied, with all of those items that I've said in it. So it's got broom, avalanche roses in white avalanche. We didn't put the Geminis in the end because it didn't need them. We've got antirrhinum, lysianthus, chrysanthemum balloons, balsadar, I think it's called, white achillea, and the white lilac. So there we go. So that's your lovely hand-tied. So that's how you make a hand-tied. So why don't you go away and have a little practice. I've got a little bit of sellotape on them. Just going to wind me up. Just a little bottom just to keep that there. And I'm sure anyone would like to receive that today. Okay, so I hope you like that. That's how I make a hand-tied. Everybody does them slightly different, but that's how I do them. And I like them to be full, and I like them to be free, sort of free-flowing. If you find they've got too much cellophane on the front, you can always trim it. Sometimes I trim the front, but I don't like to see too much cellophane. So I'm going to just trim this bit because I want you to see the flowers. I don't want you to see the cellophane really. So sometimes you just need to trim the cellophane at the front. There we go. So that's my country hand-tied. Hope you enjoyed that. Give me some thumbs up if you liked it. Loved it. Good, good, good. Lots of lovely hearts and likes. That's great. So if you know anybody else that'd like to join our lovely group, then please invite your friends, invite your family, share in the group sometimes if you can. That would be great. But that's our lovely hand-tied for today. All right. So hope you like that. And I will see you next week. Have a lovely weekend, everybody. Don't think the weather's going to be much this weekend, but see my face. If you want to see my face. Have a lovely, lovely weekend, everybody, and I will see you next week. You're very welcome. Glad you all liked it. Gorgeous. Sorry I joined in late. You can always watch it on catch up. And I will see you all next week. Have a lovely, lovely weekend. Gonna have my nails and my feet done today. Treating myself. Going with Mum. Gonna have gels done today and pedicure. So nice little treat for today. Because I can't get in the garden. I can't do anything I want to do. So why don't we treat ourselves? Yeah, let's go for it. See you all next week, everyone. Have a great time. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.